Enterprise TV, reaching you live from the heart of Lagos. I am Kende Bodering.
And I am Henry Ibibike.
Alright, so it's another beautiful day to stay informed and inspired. And today we'll be taking our newspaper review, and after that we'll move right straight to the main conversation for the day. So you can equally join us by reaching us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. So Henry, before that we have our ever-present guest, Barrister Evans Ufeli. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Thank you so very much for your time. All right, so let's kickstart today, interestingly, with the first daily on our desk. It's coming from the Guardian newspapers. And the big story, toxic breeds, cancer, fertility risks trail Nigeria's $429 million synthetic hair obsession.
Wow. We also have ruling behavior, NCAA blacklist IND petitions for criminal charges.
Yes, and also on the bottom strip we have 300 repentant terrorists undergoing rehabilitation, says the federal government.
We also have over 83 million Nigerians live on less than 3,100 naira daily, Oxfam reviews.
Yes, and also on the bottom strip, ADC knocks the PDP over moves to Obi, claims the party has lost influence. That is the PDP they are referring to. Barrister, let's take a look at the trendiest issue happening around Nigeria. It is from the entertainer, Kwam1, unruly behavior, NCAA blacklist IND petition for criminal charges. Your take on this, please?
Yeah, it is required that such kind of unruly behavior should not go unpunished. I mean, if you look at the conduct of the musician, it's not befitting of someone, a father, you know, a husband, a brother to several persons. So his conduct was unfortunate because at age 68, you should have seen it all. You should have known that there's nothing in this life. You should be the one to be telling people, youths, don't go and stand on the front of a jet. It's not proper. It's not the proper behavior. So, but when you now find a 68-year-old man standing before and, you know, giving us that kind of output, it reduces everything he has worked all through his life. That's the truth. Now, not many things can he be called upon to come and do. People are digging into his profile now. You know, dragging whether there are companies that he's a director or anything that is dragging all he put his hands on. And all those people will start to ease him off very soon. That is how people destroy themselves. You cannot work this hard and then just because you know the president or you know one or two persons in politics does not now mean that every other person don't matter. The number of lives on the jet, the number of people on the crew, the security men are known that all would have been crushed. Okay? And also to the pilot, I think it's very unruly too for her to have moved that, because two wrongs cannot make a right.
So what would she have done? She would have kept it.
What she would have done is, given the number of people in that aircraft, even her own life and safety, she need to pause that aircraft, okay, and allow for security to come up, because definitely they will take, he cannot stand there with the plane for too long before the security apparatus and all that will come to take him away. Because actually the police security, mobile police security, don't stay in the hangar. Okay. They actually stay in the departure lounge or in the arrival lounge. So it will actually take time
to get them over.
Yeah, before you bring them, yes. And even the police station in the airport is across the road. Do you understand? So it's going to take some time before the attention of the police, you know, because you need to report to the police. So it's just going to be a matter of time they will actually arrest him. But moving the aircraft on the heat of passion could have resulted to anything. Yes, he could have lost it too and all that. So on both sides, I blame both sides. And to say that the whole world is looking at this, aviation authority all over the world may begin to see us as a security risks, flight risk country. We're going to add that to the layers of a problem we're already having with the entire world. And it's not befitting. Children all saw that. People were watching all over the world. And the world is a global village now. So I think we can minimize the level of shame and disgrace we have for this country. We should pity this country. We should have mercy on Nigeria with our behavior. This country is finished already. Economically, it's gone. Politically, we don't know where we stand. In the international community, we don't even have ambassadors in other countries. So what exactly is it that they can choose us for? We just won the COP, the female this and that. Instead of us to consolidate on that positivity now, somebody standing in front of aircraft. Yeah? What nonsense is this? When will this country change? Or when are we going to have what it takes really to stay positive for a whole year so that we can celebrate it? So this to me is unfortunate, very unfortunate. And I do not think that we should continue in this line. People who are in positions of responsibilities should be able to hold themselves to high esteem, no matter the level of provocation. They should be able to do that at all times. That's the only way we can be elevated. That's the only way we can even advise the younger generation. If it were a Gen Z that was standing in front of that aircraft, I'll begin to understand. Perhaps he has not seen, he doesn't know the implication. But not at this level. This is very, very wrong. All shades of wrong.
Very true.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. When you were explaining, you talked about his career, that because of this situation, people are saying, diving into his career. So let's just from this, from the legal aspect, what's your perceptive, or what do you think about his career due to this situation that happened? How will people even perceive it, even if they dive into, his music career and all of that? So what can you bring out from their own perspective?
The art serves the public. What is music? In your music, you are talking about life.
Yes.
You are advising people. You are playing. You are entertaining them. You are educating them. And a musician is like a teacher. You understand? Yes. From your life experience, from people's life experience, that's from where you compose your music.
True.
Whatever message you have for the world, you compose it from life experiences and the rest of that. And then when people listen to you and they feel that, yes, you are making sense, you are inspiring them, you should leave it at that. Because when you now begin to act in a way that is, by the way, this is even a criminal offense. You understand? I wrote an article about this yesterday, which is circulating. If you look at the criminal code, yes, the criminal code is an offense under the criminal code, wherein you unlawfully obstruct, the moving of an aircraft under an airdrome, and whatever you do, directly or indirectly, to obstruct it, it's an offense. And the penalty for that offense is 2 years imprisonment, with option of fine and both. So, if he is prosecuted, he stands the risk of going in for that penalty. Okay, if the court so found him guilty of the act itself. So I do not think that is the kind of thing he will want for himself at that age. He has children. The daughter came out yesterday to say that the father wasn't drinking alcohol, it was water. Is that what I want my daughter to be doing at that age? To come out on the internet and be defending me that what I'm carrying is not water, it's alcohol, not water, it's alcohol. Yeah, putting that girl under tension. It's putting his family under tension. And I don't think that's good enough. If they ever want to charge him, I've not heard anything about charge. All I have seen is a ban, which is like a sanction.
Yes.
You understand? But if the state want to proceed to prosecute him, he stands the risk of going to jail. Okay. And all he has worked for the past 68 years will be up in flames. It's not good. It's not good.
Very lamentable, really. And just like Barrister did say, Kwambon has been banned from flying for 6 months by the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, whilst Captain Oluranti Ogoye and co-pilot First Officer Ivan Oloba have been suspended immediately. Well, it's an ongoing probe, and we hope that this will resolve well, and most importantly, that our airspace will be safe, most definitely. But Barrister, let's take a look at other matters coming from the Guardian newspaper. Also, we have the big issue here: cancer facility risk trails in Nigeria's $429 million synthetic hair obsession. Barrister, if you've gone to any of the industries where this synthetic hair is produced, especially the one along Agege, there's one along Agege,
Yes.
right there.
There's one in Ojodu here.
Yes, exactly. You know, after every day's work, you need to see the mammoth crowd coming out from such industry.
Yes.
You know, and one would wonder, do you think whoever it is that did this reportage didn't do a very good job in knowing all of, because this would have an effect not just on people who are obsessed with synthetic hair, but equally on the industry, because it is not scientifically proven that there's a connection between synthetic hair and cancer and fertility.
Well, is there any survey, is there any scientific or medical reference?
Well, there's no scientific reference, but just before I got, you know, talking or did a talk on this particular stuff, of course, ChatGPT seems to be the only place you can readily go get some information, and I have it here. There's no strong scientific evidence that synthetic hair directly causes cancer or fertility problem. However, they said toxic chemicals, some low-quality synthetic hair products may contain chemicals like formaldehyde, which have been linked to health issues when exposure is frequent or prolonged.
Well, maybe that is from the angle he's writing from.
Okay.
Yes.
It's writing from the narrow, because from that, what we have read now, there's an allowance given for there's a window where you can stand to criticize synthetic hair. That's exactly what that guy is doing. Yeah, but I think a report like this that's going out to the entire public ought not to just be superficial. It should be able to reference a reputable scientific institutions, you understand, that have done findings and that have come up with, you know, reports to the fact that they have carried out empirical scientific research, and it points to this direction and it points to this direction, so that it becomes the news itself will become consumables, and it will be the right consumables, because a lot of persons are also writing for several interests, okay, for a lot of interests. You know, you see how some, that's what they call industrial war.
Okay.
Yes, that's what they call industrial war. A company that have interests in something, where another company have interest in this, we employ the services of journalists to write against. There's even competition, even in the same field. You understand? People can cook up, even in pharmaceuticals, they do it. You know, just to make sure that you deride the other company. So we don't know the intention of this. We don't know who's pushing this story. We don't know whether it's altruistic to save society, or whether there are undercurrent interests that is pushing this. We don't know exactly what it is. You understand? So, but if anything is not scientifically proven, and you cannot link, you know, cause and effect to something, I don't think spreading it is the right thing to do. If you, except you're able to link the whole thing, the organisms he talked about, the chemicals he talked about, the exposure and the rest of that. If you can truly link it scientifically to cancer and all that, then it is wise for the purpose of public health to make that information known to the public.
All right. What other story do we have from the Guardian newspaper? There are lots of interesting stories here.
From the Guardian, we have. Okay, we still have WAEC records results, directs candidates to check afresh. So, because when I think there was a story early this week, this woman, she came out and she was shouting. She was like, WAEC, you guys have done it again. Why do we have mass failure this time around? What could have gone wrong? After those children going to, you know, to write the exam, and they spent the whole day. Some students even came home at night. In fact, I think the exam was even done at night, according to report. So Barrister, so what can you say about this particular story? WAEC recalls results, direct candidate to check afresh. Does
You know, when they wrote that WAEC and the news broke out early this year, when they were using a candle and lantern to write the exam in the night and all that, I saw the story and I quickly swung into action. Called my lawyers together. We looked at the case, we looked at the law, and we looked at everything. And we discovered that the children have a case. You understand?
okay?
So we went to court. We went to the Federal High Court. The case is still pending. Parents have been calling me, students and all that. Now, when we went to, what are our prayers in court? We are asking the federal government to look into what WAEC has done in the conduct of the 2025 WAEC exam, and to set it aside, because on the day of English language and one other day, papers didn't get to the students early enough. They had to write into the night and use candles, and the photograph is all over. And it's a violation of their fundamental rights. When you look at the Child Rights Act, when you look at the Constitution, these children have a right to education. These children that you are supposed to write exam in the midnight, when would they get home? Under this intense insecurity and the rest of that. So the trauma and the violation of their rights must be redressed. And when we wrote to WAEC, they did not respond. So we had to go to court. They filed their defense, by the way. The Ministry of Education have filed their defense. And in their defense, I don't want to go into the merit of the case because it's before the court.
Yes.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that if they had listened to us at that time, okay, and then set that exam aside and set a fresh one, they would have averted this. Because it happened during my set. When we were to write, I think, was it a GC or WAEC? No, I can't remember. They are both WAEC, but one is private, one is general. I remember there was a paper that leaked, and because it leaked, the exam was called off that day. They had to, fix another date for that same exam and change the question papers. You understand? So when we call that, why would you expose children to this kind of operations? I mean, they were all over the television station, the media and all that. Set it aside, they didn't listen. Now look at the outcome. You are expecting a different outcome when your input is wrong. Your input will determine your outcome. There will be mass failure as long as the test for that exam is to test students' preparedness, to test their intellectual quotient, to test their ability to respond to question and to prepare them for tertiary institution. Is that not the reason? But when you are writing that exam in the night, you are not testing their intelligence. You are not testing their capacity, intellectual quotient or intellection. What you are doing is you are testing their ability to withstand fear, trials and tribulation. You are testing their ability to work under intense pressure at that age. Many of them who wrote that exam are about 15, 16, 14 years old. That wrote that exam from 14 to 16 years. And the ones that wrote that exams. You know, at 16 and 15 and 14, you have not, the scientists have proven that until you are 26, your brain is not fully developed. Even when you are a copper, even when you are graduated, you are not up to 26, your brain is not fully developed. Let alone children who are 14, 15, 16, you put them under such kind of pressure, intense pressure, then you now expect them to come out with flying colors. How is it going to work? So we must see, for us to build a formidable generation in the future that will take this country to the next level, it starts from the children we're treating, how we're treating them now, and how we're exposing them to the things of life. That will determine how they will see life. You understand? Because if you don't give them the right kind of perspective, you don't give them the right kind of, they will not be able to lead. You understand? Look at the Holy Writ, for example. You see these Israelites that were to move to the promised land. There's a reason God didn't choose any of them who had gone through all those suffering. God had to choose Moses, who had been in the palace, who was born in the palace, who cannot take nonsense, who will see an Israeli and an Egyptian fighter, and it will take the life of the, someone who is an activist, born, not born in the palace, but by providence, raised in the palace. It takes someone with a strong formative years to pull people out of nonsense. I'm telling you. You see, because the scientists again have established that between 0 to 12 is the formative years of a child. And whatever you are not able to teach a child to imbibe between 0 to 12, forget about it. If you don't teach him good morals between 0 to 12, if you don't teach him the direction between 0 to 12, 0 to 7, 7 to 12, if you don't teach him the right kind of thing, if you like, take him to a mountain, take olive oil, 1 gallon, put on his head, and anoint him, he will never turn out the right way, because at that formative, that is where the child learns by observation. It starts by deep observation. It's sucking everything he's seeing. By the time he's 12, he's already formed. Then his brain gets developed fully at 26. Then whatever it is that has gone through him within that time is what will define the next phase of his life. Okay? Yes, so, if we understand that as a country, we will not subject our children to study under that kind of condition, or to write exams under that kind of condition, or to put on lantern and be reading passages. The English come with 2 comprehension passages, and 1 letter writing or essay writing. So there's a lot of writing to be done in the English language. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of thoughts that you have to put into that exam for you to be able to score even a C5. So when you are not doing it in the night with candle, what are you going to score? Is it not obvious that this thing is not working? So I don't even know what they're talking about. Okay, they had to go and rework on the result, and they want to look through. So the same thing happened to JAM.
Yes.
The same thing happened to JAM when we went to court too. The 2 cases are in court. And we're asking for the fundamental right enforcement. See, we have to do this. If we don't, by next year, maybe they'll take the children to go and ride the Zanzibar River or the mountain. So we cannot afford to allow them to mess up the next generation. Because this generation is already a failed one. You understand? It's a failed one already. So why should we now allow the next generation to fall into the same trap that has held us bound this way? This is the generation that is embracing IT, that's embracing artificial intelligence. You understand? This is the generation that knows no tribe, okay, that knows no Gentile or Jews. You understand? This is the generation that the prophecy in the Holy Writ talked about. So if you don't allow them to have the requisite knowledge that they will use to define the future, so where are you going to leave them? When the world will be at a very far pace, they will be trying to catch up.
Very sad, really. And from the Vanguard newspaper, we have it that the WAEC has apologized over the technical glitch, and of course asking for the recall of that paper, and asking the candidates to go and refresh their sites to see if anything can come up from there. And it's so sad, really, that all of this is happening just in Nigeria. Ghana equally writing the same exams, but not seeing the same, sad situation that we have going on in Nigeria. But Barrister, let's take a look at this last story just before we call it a day for this segment. Heavy floods to hit 198 local government areas in 31 state federal government wants. But I love us to, if possible, narrow it to Lagos State. Amongst the local governments affected in Lagos is Lekki Access, some part of Ikorodu.
That's a Tiosa local government.
Yeah, Tiosa, yes, exactly. Ikorodu, Ajegule, and some other places.
Yeah.
But particularly, I'd love you to take on this submission by one Mahmoud Adegbeti. He's the permanent secretary to the Water Resources, who said that anyone sinking boreholes in the Lekki axis is drinking the number 2's water. Yeah. And one would ask, why would the government official be so derogatory in his submission? Isn't it the responsibility of the government to provide potable water?
Yes, it's possible, but it's the truth he's saying now. You are drinking shit water if you are drinking... because the Lekki water is not good. I mean, you can't even... Some people use it to cook. You can imagine. So when they start to develop this kind of ailment that don't have remedy, you now... Because it's good that the man is saying it the way it is. I like that, those kind of leaders. Yes, that is what you are doing.
But even if it's offensive to Lagos state government,
it is. Yeah, well, it's offensive. I know it's offensive. It's government responsibility to provide potable water. Really, it's indicting the state government. And yes, because he may think that he's scaring people or that, but he's indicting the state government. And I like the confusion in his head, because the confusion will force them to do something. I mean, those in the Lekki axis, they need not put up or dig boreholes, because I mean, it's of no use in the first place. The iron, the rust and all that is too much. It's too much of I don't know what they call it scientifically, but the water is not, it's polluted.
Yes.
You understand? Even when you find it is salty, even when you so it's not potable water. It's not meant for consumption. So the state government, before now, they used to have water board.
Yes.
When we were growing in the early 80s, we don't know of when. It's not long ago, because some of you were born into this borehole thing. Let me just tell you, in this country, borehole is a new. It's very strange, especially to the X generation. To my generation, we don't know what they call borehole. Well, later we saw it. At that time, you go to the tap, you open the tap, and water will be running. Then, when we close from school, I remember we wash our hands, we drink from the...
Very sweet water.
Yes. And it's coming from water board. Yes. You understand? I remember then in Kaduna, that's how we know about water. That's how we know about water. Well, later on, we just discovered that people will dig this in water will be coming from the ground. Well, so this is possible. You understand? But some persons were born into the borehole thing. And they think that that's how it has always been. No, that's not how it has always been. So there's a need to go back to that borehole thing. Water board. Yes, because it was a viable institution. Employs a lot of people.
Very well.
So many, just like the railway in those days, employ a lot of people. So Lagos is a special state. Those people there in the Lekki axis cannot afford to continue to do what they are doing. Most especially because there's also the risk of flooding, and that there's a prediction somewhere. I don't want to scare people. It's online that place may cave in sometimes in the future. So there's a need to preserve the ecosystem. That's the only thing you have. And population is increasing every day. Yes. Population is increasing by geometric progression. That's what they say, Abi. And then our economy is growing by arithmetic progression. You understand? So the Lagos state government, just that this particular Sanwo-Olu's government, I don't know what the man is doing. I don't really know what he's doing, because the government before this one really did a lot to even fight flood using environmental trees and all that stuff. I mean, this one, when it rains in Lekki, once it rains like 1 hour 30 minutes, the whole place is flooded. Yes. In 2009, when it rained 16 hours non-stop, water carried people to different places. People died and all that. So there's a need to I hope this same man who is saying this thing have a proposal before this government as a solution. Yeah, because not enough to just say that you are drinking shit water. You need to present a proposal before the government as to how this problem can be solved. It is not a problem that cannot be solved. How many people are we in Lagos? There are over 20. It's not everybody that have that water problem issue. Okay, so for the number of areas that have that issue, they can actually address the problem.
Very true. And this very simple technology will reverse osmosis. You know, we can get the best water, even from the most dirtiest water. And one would wonder why government making internally generated revenue in Lagos today stands at 1.5 trillion naira. And one would wonder why is the Lagos State government finding it very difficult to provide potable, clean water for its people. It's a developing story, and right here on Enterprise Television, we promise to bring it to you. Barrister will still be here to take us on our main conversation when we return. Sowore brutalized hidden in underground cell. Lawyer alleges a police abuse. That in a beat is still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.